So most thought leaders that I know, they're not chasing fame. They're actually trying to change the conversation in their industry. And if that's you, having a bestseller for a day, a week, or a month, while an incredible accomplishment, is actually not enough to be the recognized leader in your category year after year after year. So, how do we achieve this? Well, there are no pat answers because this is, in fact, a complex and nuanced space. In fact, you may have heard me say how your stage as a thought leader and your business model serve as powerful filters on what to do and when. Today, I want to talk about two key factors that can make all the difference between you spinning your wheels and achieving your true potential as a thought leader. Number one, how well you develop your message. And number two, how much you customize your strategies to fit you. So let's unpack this. You see, most thought leaders and aspiring thought leaders are frustrated. They're working hard, they're doing all the things, and they're not seeing any movement. You might say they find themselves in the zone of minimal impact. Well, why is this? Well, let's look at the message first. On the message side, their message may be underdeveloped. In fact, it might be more of a meme or a feeling or a hunch than an actually fully developed concept and message. And there may be many reasons for this, but at the end of the day, when your message is underdeveloped, it can sound generic and just like everyone else's message. And as a result, it's really hard to stand out. Then on the strategy side of things, when you're getting started, you may see all strategies as one size fits all and that everything can work for you. And you might think, let me grab some podcasts here and try to pitch myself. Let me get a little PR. Let me spin it all together and create this strategy that is more like a suit off the rack than a custom fit suit. As a result, when you have a generic message and a one size fits all strategy and you put them together, it's kind of like the monster truck in the mud working really hard, spinning his wheels 90 miles an hour and going nowhere. So how do we get out of this space? Well, I've noticed two things over the last 16 years. Sometimes, in an effort to move towards maximum impact, thought leaders make pivots and adjustments, but find themselves in a space of restricted growth. Why does this happen? Well, on the one hand, with the strategy side of things, they've figured out that they need to have more of that custom fitting suit. They've let go of the strategies that don't work for their business model, their audience, or perhaps even their lifestyle. And they've removed some of that friction. And yet their growth is restricted because their message is still not developed enough. Sure, it may be more developed than it was in minimal impact, but at the end of the day, it's almost like they're a cover band. Cover bands can come up with unique costumes and, their own Jagger moves and their own unique set list. But at the end of the day, a Stones cover band is a Stones cover band. And so it can be very hard to compete against the 50 to 100 bands around the country that have more followers and more notoriety as you. And so while there's progress in the zone of restricted growth, it's still not to the degree you want when you know you're called to change the conversation in the industry. So on the other hand, we have thought leaders that move out of minimal impact, but find themselves unknowingly in the zone of unsustainable growth. Well, how does this happen? Well, for these thought leaders, they've clued in pretty quickly that they have to have that unique and compelling message. They do the work to take the block of unformed marble and shape it into a Michelangelo. And they're hearing incredible feedback from their audience. They love what they're doing. They see momentum. They realize, wow, it's time to write a book. And hey, maybe I'm going to go for that national bestseller. Things are flowing. There's the momentum. But increasingly, they're feeling more and more friction to the point that they're beginning to feel exhausted, burned out, and perhaps even despair, thinking, I know I'm onto something, but I can't keep going like this. Well, how can this possibly happen when you have a unique and compelling message? Well, on the strategy side, unfortunately, they're still following the path that works for other people and is not customized for them. Sure, it's not the same as using any old strategy, but ultimately they may be trying to become the Brene Brown or Adam Grant instead of filling their own unique potential and finding their own unique path. So, what do we do with all of this? How can we achieve our true potential as a thought leader? Well, that happens when we develop our message so that it's unique, compelling, and relevant. And then we take the steps necessary to find that custom strategy that's perfect for us, our message, our audience, and our business model. When those two things come together, it's magic. This should give you hope. It's exciting. And what I also know to be true is that it's easier said than done. That's why I'm going to be unpacking all of this and more on a webinar coming up, and I'd love to see you there. Take a look at the link in the comments below, sign up, spread the word, and I look forward to seeing you there.